Hello, and a very warm welcome to this Caljan webinar, focusing on the AutoUnloader from the Caljan automated product range. My name's Paul Byers. I'm the Global Sales Director for Caljan Automated Products, and I'd like to thank you all for taking the time from your busy schedules to attend the webinar. We hope to provide some interesting updates, spark some conversations with many of you, answer some difficult questions, and also thank you to some of those people who have submitted questions ahead of the webinar. We're going to cover as many of these as we can as possible in the final part of this session. But if you do have any questions for anything you see today, please add these to the these questions to the Q&A section that you'll find within this webinar. Our agenda today will cover the Caljan automated products, a technical look at the Caljan AutoUnloader, some solution concepts, an introduction to the Caljan Technology Centre, and we will finish with that Q&A session. During this webinar, you'll also hear from two other members of the automated products team, so you don't have to listen to me for the full 45 minutes. Cecilia Olsen, our International Sales Manager, and Matthias Fritz, our AutoUnloader Product Manager, and also the designer of the AutoUnloader system from Caljan. So we truly do have the expert in the room. I will start with a small piece on Caljan. So our mission is that we create value for the logistics industry, handling high volumes of loose loaded cargo efficiently through innovation, people, and partnership. Our mission is to be the best-in-class global partner, delivering solutions for handling loose loaded cargo. So if we start with a touch on Caljan. Founded in 1963, Caljan is a world-renowned market leader in telescopic boom conveyors. But we're also so much more than that. Caljan globally is divided into 4 divisions: manual loading and unloading products, which consist of our Caljan telescopic boom conveyor range, which I'm sure most of you are aware of, as we are the market leader for this product. Our automated products, which we'll go into shortly in this webinar, our document handling and labeling systems, and our aftermarket, which provide global coverage, remote and on-site support for our customers, providing planned and reactive maintenance. Caljan is a truly global company, represented with dedicated offices in 7 different countries, and we reach other global locations with a network of exclusive distributors where we are not directly present. Our head office is in Aarhus, Denmark. Our facility in Germany is where our document handling and labeling products are manufactured. In the US, we have production halls for the Caljan telescopic range. In the UK, we provide design, and in Latvia, our main facility for manufacturing products for both manual loading and unloading, as well as our automated products. Our Latvian facility, which we're very, very proud of, is based in Liepāja and is our home for world-class manufacturing. It employs over 240 people, and this facility was opened in 2018, and it moved from our original facility, which didn't look like this, also in Liepāja, which originally opened in 2006. This new facility was purpose-built by Caljan and is over 15,000 meters squared, and it's growing as we expand our business and expand our product portfolio. This facility produces the market-leading products from Caljan, and at full capacity can manufacture up to 60 telescopic booms per week, making it the largest telescopic manufacturer in Europe. I will now hand over to Cecilia Olsen to talk more about the Caljan Automated Products Division. Cecilia.
Thank you, Paul. So let's go to the next slide here. We will start with a timeline for Caljan. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to go through the whole thing. So we will start in 1963, where Caljan was founded by 2 Danish guys called Caljan and Jensen, hence the name we have today, the first 3 letters of their last name, Caljan. In 1993, we have received our first request for an automatic loading system. Fast forward to 2022, Caljan observed a growing interest in automated products from our core customers. To align with this market demand, we launched the Automated Product Division. This division was specifically created to address key challenges such as labor, efficiency, and speed, particularly in response to the increasing volume of loose loaded shipments. All our automated products share a common goal: to reduce labor in the harshest environments of loose loaded and unloading. That same year, we also sold our first AutoLoader as we know it today, and we acquired PHS, the company founded by Matthias, also in this call today, who invented the AutoUnloader for swap bodies. In 2023, we had our first robot collaboration, and last 2024, the year we are now, we released our AutoUnloader trailer version. If we look a bit on the products, then a standard telescopic conveyor, which we have made since 1970s, an operator can load or unload around 800 packages per hour. If you take a semi-automatic solution such as the AutoUnloader, you can use an operator to face the packages, which will increase the rate to around 2,000 parcels per hour, and that will maintain a constant speed and eliminate any ergonomic concerns. This product is good for brownfields where installation of a singulator is not a possibility. Moving on to the full automatic solutions. The standard unloading rate is around 5,000 parcels per hour without any operators. For the automatic loading, the throughput is between 3,000 and 4,000 parcels per hour. Both rates can be higher, but it depends on the efficiency of the system, the receiving or feeding system behind these units. In the automated product division, we have a diverse range of 5 products. These products include the AutoUnloader, both available in trailer and swap body version, the AutoLoader, which now also can be used for manual loading or unloading if this should be needed. We have our robot calibration for containerized goods. And last, we're excited to announce the launch of a new product line called Value on the Dock. Value on the Dock is a combination of various technologies combined with the Caljan telescopic boom conveyor. Utilizing the Caljan telescopic main case, the technology is integrated to complete additional value added to loading and unloading processes. This product line will release next year in 2025. Now, I'm thrilled to introduce our next speaker, Matthias, who is the esteemed product manager. Matthias will be presenting what I will call the most exciting part of today's webinar, a detailed walkthrough of the AutoUnloader. This innovative product has been a game changer for the industry, and Matthias' expertise and insight will hopefully provide you with a very comprehensive understanding of the product. Matthias, will you please take over?
Yeah, also a very warm welcome from my side. I'm happy to introduce the AutoUnloader system today, and we will cover basically 3 different topics. We'll have a short look on the history of the product. Then I'm happy to take you up to Latvia, so a short trip into our technology center where we'll have a live walk around at the machine and where I can explain different parts and how they work together. And finally, we will have then a closer look on the unloading process itself, so the different steps which have to be performed and what you can achieve with the product. Yeah, just a short look on the history line. All the things started back in 2014. At this point of time, Caljan didn't even know anything about the AutoUnloader because the idea was born at Graz University of Technology at the Institute of Logistics Engineering. And over the next 2 years, we could design a proof of concept of this idea in a funded project. And in the end, this led then to the foundation of the company PHS Logistic Technik GmbH, which was founded by Andreas and me to continue on the development of this unloading principle. Over the next years, we developed the shuttle, and finally in 2020, after several redesign steps, we then reach the state where we are now with the current type of AutoUnloader with this aluminum floor. I will show you a little bit later. And finally, then in 2022, Caljan acquired PHS, and now we also have access to more resources, to production knowledge, and all this stuff. So to speed up the development, and that was immediately taken up the point. So basically we started after having the swap body solution by extending then this solution to the current trailer version. So we are now also able to unload the whole portfolio of different trailers automatically with our product. But what is the AutoUnloader system actually? So if we look at this slide, I can give you just a short overview. On the left side, we see a trailer, and this trailer is equipped with an aluminium floor. This aluminium floor consists of several profiles, and they are connected on both sides with rotational joints. At the end of this floor, we have a rear wall. This is connected to the floor, and during unloading, the whole floor is pulled out of the trailer together with the parcels and winded up inside the machine. Singulation belts on the shuttle, which you can see on the right side, take over the parcels, pre-singulate them, and transfer it to the exit. The shuttle on the right side is a fully movable platform. So basically, you can move around in the dock area. You can also move the shuttle to a park position, and all this can be done automatically. So basically, you only have to keep a button pressed, and all the actions, also the docking procedure, is done automatically. But why talking on a slide when we have the opportunity of seeing the product live? And therefore, now we have our design engineer Kaspers in Latvia, which will connect to us, and we will show you the product in our facility in Latvia. Hi, Kaspers.
Hi, Matthias.
How are you doing? All fine?
Great. Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah, that's great. Great to hear. So as you can see here, we have our shuttle already connected to the trailer to give you exactly the state of the unloading process. And when we look on the shuttle from the outside, you can see on all corners these yellow black wheel cases. Each of these wheel cases contains mechanism wheels, and all those mechanism wheels together enable us to move the shuttle in each direction we want to move it to. So basically, we can move it sidewards, forwards, backwards, and we can also turn the shuttle around a predefined turning point. Together with our LiDAR sensor, Kaspers will show us now, we can also perform all these movement types automatically. The LiDAR sensor on top of this pillar is constantly searching for reflectors mounted in the facility. We can see a reflector here now. And as long as we at least see 2 of these reflectors, we can calculate our current shuttle position and orientation up to an accuracy of 3 to 5 millimeters. So when we know where we are and how the orientation is, we can assign the correct movement type. And this basically allows us then to move along a pre-programmed path. So the operator has not to choose the direction of movement. It's automatically assigned. And we can also perform the automatic docking procedure. But let us now walk into the machine. For that reason, we need to open those stairways. Maybe a short note on the topic safety, because we have received several questions regarding safety up front. As long as the unloader shuttle is unloading and the unloading process is in operation, then all the side walls are closed. So basically, we cannot reach into the machine. So there is no risk of hurting our arm or whatever. As soon as we open the stairways, a magnetic switch is activated, the safety switch, and the shuttle will shut down every moving component. So it's now then safe to access the machine. Kaspers will now step in. And here we can see already these singulation belts. We have basically 2 rows of them with a different speed preset. And those singulation belts are taking the 3D bulk and reduce the 3D bulk to a 2D distribution of parcels and polybags. When we now walk into the trailer, we can also have a look on this floor I mentioned. Just point a little bit down. Yeah, you can see now this specific profile I will talk about a little bit later with these grooves in it. And this floor is also capable of taking pallets or roller cages. So there's basically no limit in terms of load, but of course we can only unload loose loaded items. So if we walk further down to the rear wall, looks a little bit spooky, like a shooter game, but no worries. Caljan takes care of your safety as always. We can now see this rear wall from a closer view. This rear wall is connected to the floor and is moved towards the door frame of the trailer during unloading. And this rear wall ensures that no parcels will fall behind and being left in the trailer. So when we now turn around, we can basically see the whole path a parcel would move along during unloading. So it is basically pulled towards the shuttle. And when we then reach the transition point, we call it, you can see that this is designed by using the escalator principle. So that's kind of a rake with teeth in the front. And these teeth, they are moving in the grooves I mentioned before. Why have we designed it like this? This ensures basically that we have a continuous transition from floor to belt. So when we move a parcel along this path, then the teeth of the rake will go beyond the parcel or the bag and ensure that we have a stepless transition from floor to belt. All the material flow is controlled automatically. So if we now turn a little bit up the view to our tunnel, we can see there is a volume scanner. Kaspers will move out of this curtain here. We can see this volume scanner, and the volume scanner constantly scans the area below so that we have an overview of how many parcels are lying on the belts already. And according to what we receive, we will stop automatically the floor or restart it. Of course, we also use some photocells and predefined rules and algorithms to pre-singulate from 3D to 2D. And we can handle more or less the whole automatic sortable portfolio. So from card boxes to poly bags to paper bags, everything can be unloaded. If it's some bulky goods, for example, of course, they will be unloaded, but they have to be taken out because they cannot proceed with the automatic process afterwards. The size is limited to the automatic sortable spectrum, so we can unload parcels up to a size of 1,200 times 700 times 700 millimeters. And also, if we go down, then it's a 2 centimeter thickness, which is required as a minimum thickness here. Good. How is the unloading process and the shuttle controlled actually? We now will move out of the shuttle. So we again use the stairways to get safe out of the machine. And we can see on the side our HMI, which is basically to control all the activities of the shuttle. So we have a concept based on different modes. So we have an automatic mode, we have a manual mode. The automatic mode requires the smallest skill level, so to say. So because all the movement and all the docking procedures is pre-programmed, so it's only the hold to run and sometimes to confirm a step. And then we also have a manual mode, which requires some more training for the technical staff on site to fix things, to do some simple maintenance tasks, etc. The HMI also has an EMS, so we can all the time safely switch off the machine. And on the side, we have a hold to run button for all the movement and docking steps. As long as we keep that button depressed, then the shuttle would move. And as soon as we release it, then the shuttle would stop safely. So it's not possible to start the process and just walk away, for example. A few words now to the topic of safety. Safety is an integrated part in the Caljan development process. So from the very first beginning, the conceptual state, basically, We start with our risk assessment, and during development and design, we eliminate those risks or at least reduce it to an acceptable level. And of course, we have to put a couple of safety devices onto the machine. As you can see, the EMS on the HMI and also the hold to run button, but also we have EMS buttons on both sides of the machines. We also use mirrors, Caspar will show us, to have a clear overview of all the moving area. So we need to make sure that we keep the area of movement free of any obstacles and persons, for example. And together with the hold to run principle, then we are safe to move the machine. Yeah, that was a short overview of the machine. And now we will go back to our slides, and I will show you a little bit about the different process steps and how basically one unloading looks like. So many thanks also to Caspar for supporting us here. And now we will continue with the process. How basically does this work in theory and in real life? The basic concept is shown here in this animation. So we can connect to the trailer with our shuttle automatically. Then we pull out the floor. The floor is winded up inside the machine, as you can see here. And during this process, the reable is also moving towards the door frame of the trailer. And after having completed the unloading, then the floor is pushed back into the trailer, which is not shown here, and we disconnect the shuttle from the trailer. The next trailer can be placed. We already have a couple of installations, and next I would like to show you a video of one of these sites. So we have equipped the whole Austrian Post network with auto unloaders. So we have around Vienna, 4 of them in the southern part, then in Upper Austria, and also in the western part. And 2 of them are located at Vienna South. That's one of the newest and most modern hubs of Austrian Post. And we have a fully automatic solution there. So there is a singulator behind. And in the video on the next slide, we can show you the process, how it basically works. So first, of course, the trailer has to be docked. When the operator opens the door and eventually removes a load securing net, and then the automatic docking process starts with some vision systems in the front searching for markers, and we correct any deviations. Then we close the connection to the singulator and start the unloading. We can unload parcels up to a throughput of 4,000 parcels and even more, depending on the parcel profile and depending on the following equipment. The parcels are, as you could see here, pre-singulated by reducing the 3D bulk to a 2D distribution. And the principle is that we take the bottom parcels first, and so we avoid falling heights, which would damage the parcels, like you can see here. As you could see before, we also can unload poly bags, and when we have completed the unloading, then the operator makes sure that everything is right inside, and we push back the floor afterwards. So that's also done automatically, and when the floor is in its initial position, then we disconnect the shuttle, we close the door, and the next trailer can be docked. That's a short view on the process. We have also a timeline you've seen maybe on the top. So automatic docking takes only 2 minutes, and unloading, depending on how many parcels are inside, around 25 minutes, I would say. And then we have 2 minutes of undocking time. Yeah, what can you achieve with our product? Of course, a faster throughput. We can unload up to 4,000 or 5,000 parcels, even more if the following equipment would allow it. Of course, we can now unload different types of trailers, from swap bodies to 40 feet, 45 feet, or 53 feet trailers. Of course, the process is also is an automatic process. So you reduce the number of operators. The tasks of operators is only containing the docking procedure and undocking, and the unloading itself runs completely automatically. And also you have several improvements regarding ergonomics, because you release the operator from this physically demanding task of lifting parcels. Yeah, that was a short overview of the product, and I'm now happy to hand over to Paul, who will tell us a little bit about the solution concept.
Thank you, Matthias. Really interesting as always. Hopefully it's sparked some thoughts with the people viewing the webinar today. Some things that we need to consider, because we've been asked this question by multiple people, and indeed by some of you guys prior to the webinar, is the solution concept. We are painfully aware that this equipment can actually create a secondary challenge, where we're used to a manual unloading process where we can unload around 800 to 1,000 packages per hour. We're certainly going to increase that level to 3 to 4 to 5,000 items. So we have a secondary challenge with bulk volume of freight being received on the dock. And how would we deal with this? As part of that, we've been working very hard in the background with other market-leading suppliers to create options and answers for different applications, so we can solve these challenges. That goes for both greenfield and brownfield sites. Today, I've got 3 different design concepts as ideas, which may well answer some questions or maybe promote some further questions. But these are 3 standard concepts, if you like, and different ways to solve the challenge of the bulk landing on the dock. The first option we have here is the singulator directly connected to the auto unloader. This concept is a low-level concept, so it connects the bulk line, including the singulator, directly behind the auto unloader. The 3D to 2D destacking is achieved through a funnel and chute takeaway conveyor on the incline. As you can see here, there is a drop down into the chute, and then this incline conveyor pulls away the product to create a 2D rather than 3D stack. For this application, we've also added bulk lines to the system. Sorry, go back one. The bulk line tippers come on this green line down the side here, and that allows the customer to utilize the singulation line behind the auto unloader when the auto unloader is not needed. So they're getting more from the asset that they've purchased in singulation and doing diverts and rejects afterwards, which I'll come on to now. So first of all, we have the singulator. Then we have full product detection as a system to enable us to reject products for being non-conveyable, or if the singulation has not been perfect, for example. Rejected products can then be delivered to another area for rework via any number of divert technologies. And the divert technologies chosen would be chosen and selected based upon the product portfolio that we're trying to move. The capacity of this configuration is noted at 3,000 parcels an hour. The throughput is, however, based upon the speed of the singulation, the DWS, and any divert technology. We can go faster than 3,000, but it all depends upon what is the smallest throughput item that we have in this line. Let's switch to number 2. Our second concept is to install a Caljan AutoUnloader onto an existing site where they have a high-level sort system. The white boundary here of the layout shows the collection of products from the auto unloader and from the bulk flow, and using incline conveyors to complete the destacking process from 3D to 2D. The purple boundary that we've shown here is the 2D to 1D singulation through a singulation technology. And then the blue boundary that we show here will complete the morphology check or the identification check, where products can be rejected from the system or inducted into the system against set parameters. The throughput for this type of system could achieve up to 5,000 parcels per hour, but the in-feed capacity would drive the throughput. This slide demonstrates beautifully for us the scope from Caljan that is available. We can deliver just the auto unloader if this system already exists. We can deliver the auto unloader and incline conveyors. We can even deliver the singulation and the morphology check or the DWS check and the rejects. Depending upon the application, depending upon what's existing, depending on the products that maybe an integrator that we're selling to has, we can deliver some, all, or just the autoloader of this concept. The third and final one that I've got for you today integrates the Caljan AutoUnloader into a central bulk system. So for this example, we're consolidating the bulk stream from multiple inducts into a single feed. So the full 3D to 1D cut is completed through a destacking unit and singulation unit in one high performance line. This is typically done at high level, where we have a destacking unit from the bulk collection conveyor into a singulation unit, which is then identified through a DWS to enable the products to be routed into the main sortation system. Again, the capacity of this system is very much determined by the central singulator and the DWS capacities in the center. Certainly on this application, 2 auto unloaders and 4 manual infeeds could comfortably feed more than some of the very, very high level singulation technologies that we've been working with. We're not going to build a singulator. We would partner with the right technology in order to solve the problem statement of the application. I can now hand you over to Cecilia, who's going to talk you through a bit more on our technology center and what we have available for you. Cecilia.
Thank you, Paul. So the next part is about our technology center, which we've already seen a little of. 3 months ago, we opened the doors to this new technology center for Caljan. This facility allows us to demonstrate fully automatic loading and unloading with our autoloader and AutoUnloader. Currently, we unload, as you see here, one vehicle with the AutoUnloader. It goes around the line, and then it loads over here with the autoloader. Once these tasks are done, we move around these units. They're fully movable, both of them, and then we unload the fully loaded vehicle over here, send the parcels back, and then we load over here with the autoloader. This setup enables us to invite customers for live demonstrations, to test their own goods if this should be necessary, or even live stream the tests. Please reach out to us if this could be in any interest for your company. This was the last part of our presentation. Now we'll move over to the Q&A section. As Paul mentioned in the beginning, we have tried to incorporate all the questions we have had before in the presentation. Those we didn't cover, we'll try to cover now, and the same with the questions that has been raised during this webinar. So if we run out of time, which might happen, we'll make sure to follow up with all of you with the questions afterwards, so all get answers on their questions raised. First question, or we have actually received a few of these. Matthias, can you help a little on the parcel profile and what the AutoUnloader can handle?
Yeah, basically, I tried to explain it also during the walk around. We are focusing with our AutoUnloader system on the typically sortable, automatically sortable goods. So we have a range from paper bags to poly bags to card boxes, and the typical size starts from very, very small packages. We won't give the guarantee on, because that's only one sheet of paper, but all the small parcels we can also handle up to a size of 700 times 700 times 1200 millimeter. And also the weight ranges between, let's put 100 grams up to more than 30 kilograms. So basically the whole spectrum here. If it contains roller cages, so we have a mixed load. If we have a mixed load with roller cages, maybe pallets in the last part of the trailer, then it's also possible to use our AutoUnloader system. But in the first step, we need to move it sideways. Then we basically take out pallets or roller cages, and after having done this, then we can connect and unload the loose load, which is still in the trailer.
Thank you, Matthias. Before we take the next question, I can see there's a few that has raised their hand. Please use the Q&A section above here in the chat to put in the questions, so we'll try to organize them. Next question, we have also had a few of these. Paul, maybe you'll answer this. Who will take care of the installation, training, and commissioning of the equipment?
In short, it's Caljan. So we have a dedicated team for the automated products. We appreciate that this is a concept change. This is not just a different type of the same equipment. And as such is a bit more complex to complete the installation. So our dedicated team for wherever you are in the globe would come and complete this installation, the delivery, the commissioning. We'd also do the hand-holding, the go-live support. And as part of all of this equipment, all of our automatic equipment is fitted with a modem. So we can do remote diagnostics. So post the installation, once we've had the aftercare, once we've finished with supporting the site on the go-live to make sure that we're up and running, there's also a safety net behind, which will allow you to call into our help desk. Our help desk can dial into the machine and complete diagnosis of any challenges they're having on site. So in short, the whole piece is covered by Caljan, and it needs to be covered by Caljan as well because of the complexity of this equipment.
Thank you. Then we have been asked a few questions. I know you've touched on this, Matthias, but maybe let us take it again. Occupational safety for the product. Could you do a quick recap of this, Matthias?
Yeah, of course, safety, as I mentioned before, is an integral part of the Caljan design philosophy. So in a very early stage, we start to evaluate on any risks and hazardous zones. So we then overcome all these parts by designing it in a way that we eliminate the risk or we reduce it to an acceptable level. And of course, we are following all the standards which are applicable according to the CE certificate, for example. So we follow the IEC, the ISO standards, and depending on which type is applicable, we design the product accordingly. So we have C standards, of course, like the EN 619, or we have B standards, which cover, would say, on a more top level, a lot of things like electrical equipment safety, general rules regarding gap widths, that you are safe with all your fingers and arms and legs. On the AutoUnloader, of course, we add then all the necessary safety equipment. We have visual signals with our stack lights. For example, when the shuttle is moving, we have this yellow flashing light. Or we can also add acoustic signals if requested. That's not mandatory according to the standard, but we could do it. And sometimes it basically makes sense to do it when just assuming that the environment is very noisy. And of course, the classical devices like EMS, like hold to run button and all this stuff. So this is considered during the design process and yeah, to create a safe product as you would expect from Caljan.
Thank you. I think a good follow-up on that as well comes with the part Paul just presented. Whenever we do an install, we'll also go on site and we'll help with the training of personnel for the safety around the equipment as well. And we'll do a site survey so we ensure that everything is covered. Good. Next question is, how can a retrofit scenario look like? I assume this is a brownfield. Paul, could you elaborate on that one?
Yeah, I think I've shown 3 different examples today of potential solutions, and that's in our gift as well. So understanding and coming to site to see what are the challenges on site, where are the current induct areas, what space do we have available, and from that we can then design the right technology that would sit behind the AutoUnloader to be able to deliver an answer to the statement of challenge, if you like, whereby retrofitting this product into a building is possible. I've been to quite a few sites recently for that exact question, to be fair. We haven't yet found one that we couldn't retrofit an AutoUnloader. Some have bigger challenges than others, and some spaces are very, very tight, of course. But again, because we are not tied to a particular singulator manufacturer or an incline manufacturer or a DWS manufacturer, we can choose and pick the right material, the right equipment to answer the problem statement, to also to get it fit inside your building. So as a rounding sweep on that, yeah, we would come to site and we would design all of this, and then come back with a design with the right material to allow it to fit inside your building, but also not to impact any other processes that you have on site also.
Super. We have a few more questions. Looking at the time, we'll not make them all. I promise we'll come back to all of you. Matthias, is the floor easily adaptable to the different types of equipment in the field?
Different types, I guess it is that the question is related to the different trailer types we usually see. Maybe just a few points to that. We basically require, or the solution requires a box trailer. So we cannot work with those curtain trailers because they have those vertical pillars and they would hinder the parcels from being pulled out. So basically it needs to be a box trailer. The overall width of the floor is designed in a way that you still also keep the flexibility of having 3 pallets in a row. So that's not a problem at all. And the length we basically can adapt to the different types of containers and trailers we will find outside. So we have 40 feet trailers, 45 feet trailers, or 53 in US mainly. And of course, we also have a solution for spot bodies. Maybe one point to that, currently we cannot support a combined version, so spot body and trailer. So those are different shuttles. And that's mainly because we have a much higher load in the trailer because the length is nearly twice as much as with the spot body.
Super, thank you. Is it possible, or how is it possible to organize a visit to your test installation beginning of 2025? In the end of this webinar, we'll supply with an email, and we will also follow up with an email so you can contact us. So feel free to do so. Matthias, in the unloading time, is it 20? If the 25 minutes, is that for a swap body, or is that for a trailer?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not a friend of unloading time because the problem is it highly depends on the spectrum of parcels you have inside. I like more to talk about throughput. So basically, the speed of unloading is mainly limited by the following equipment. So we tested it up to 6,000 parcels and even more. So it's not a problem for us to increase the speed. But if we look at a typical scenario, then we have maybe a singulator behind with a capacity of, let's talk about 3,000 parcels. And if we take an average, let's say, 1,000 parcels in a swap body, then we would need around a third of an hour to unload the swap body. If it comes to the trailer, then we have a bigger length and also many more parcels inside. So then, of course, we have a longer unloading time, but mainly the throughput is limited by the equipment behind.
Thank you. One last question, and then unfortunately we have to wrap up. I'll actually just come with one comment. We will supply the recording to everyone participating today, so you'll get the recordings here, and we will also share some of the slides from the webinar. The last question is, can I use the vehicle for other transports if it's needed? Matthias, maybe you can answer that.
Yes, you can, is the short answer. That was one of the major redesign steps we did, if you remember the history line. So basically the first concept was based on a belt with a big width, but this belt unfortunately did not live that long in real world. So now we have this aluminium floor, and the aluminium floor is also able to take pallets also roller cages. And we have tested it also with a 4-ton forklifter. So basically, it's a very, very stable support. And you can use the trailer also for other types of loads, of course. The only limitation is that we cannot unload pallets. So I think that's more or less obvious with our shuttle, but you can, if they are placed in the back, then just remove it first and continue with unloading the loose load.
Just looking at the time, I think we're out of time. We're 45 minutes in. So a huge thank you to everybody who's joined the webinar. And I hope that this has sparked some inspiration, some questions. We'll come back to each of you, but I hope that the information presented was interesting and that it demonstrates Caljan's commitment to technology and advancements in the loose loading and unloading area. As Cecilia mentioned previously, we will be bringing new products to market in 2025. So please look out for those. I'm sure you'll see them on LinkedIn from our awesome marketing department. For any questions we've received and not covered in the time, our team will reach out to you directly and provide the answers and information. For questions like we had about visiting our Latvia Technology Centre, yeah, just please reach out to us on that email. We can arrange something to suit all calendars. This webinar has been recorded. You're going to receive a copy of this in the coming days. As part of this, there'll be some information on how to contact our team for any other questions you might have. For the AutoUnloader, but for any other products, please feel free to reach out to us. Our team also in your local area will be in touch in the coming weeks, just as a follow-up on this piece of work on this webinar, to get in touch with you and to talk everything Caljan. Thank you very much for your time and for your participation, and I wish you a very good day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.